Hi, my name is Cynthia, and this is my persuasive speech, which I'm laid off. I'm sorry, I've been sick. The title is Malnourishment in the United States. A 28-year-old woman was admitted at the hospital where I worked as a nurse assistant. I couldn't imagine what could have led to her admission. As we do it for every patient, I went with the registered nurse to her room to conduct a full body assessment. During our assessment, I observed some disturbing body characteristics. At first assessment, the young lady appeared to be very sick. She was morbidly obese and appeared to have difficulty breathing. Her, her heart, her heart rate, her heartbeat was rapid and irregular. Her blood pressure was very high. She appeared to have wetly thin hair, although it was winter time, but she was sweating profusely, which indicated that her subcutaneous fat, that is, the fat under her skin, was excessive. Her legs were swollen and had blisters all over them. She complained of back and knee pain and could barely stand up. All those signs and symptoms led up to believe that she was very malnourished and obese, which had led to congested heart failure. That was her diagnosis. During the assessment, I came to understand that she lived on fast and processed foods most of her life. Malnourishment in the United States is caused not only by the consumption of unhealthy, cheap foods that are low in nutrition and stuffed with calories and fat. This eventually leads to obesity. As surprising it may seem, one of the factors affecting obesity is poverty. As a matter of fact, there can be no doubt that poverty and obesity are interconnected. Provided more attention is focused on this link, the health of the Americans can be improved. Fact: according to statistics, about two-thirds of all American adults and more than one-tenth of American children are either overweight or obese. Fact: one-tenth of families suffer from food insecurity such as obesity and hunger, which take place when access to nutritionally satisfactory and safe foods is either restricted or unstable. At first glance, it may seem illogical as scarcity of food should result in underweight people. Nevertheless, children from families with low income are about 2.6 times as likely as children from rich families to get obese. That it means that poor citizens are in some kind of unfavorable condition when it comes to obesity. The reality is that not all American households have the financial capabilities to provide satisfactory housing, transportation, commodities, medical assistance, education, food, and clothing that all families need. Many families often have to buy less healthy but cheap foods instead of health but more expensive instead of instead of healthy but more expensive foods. Unfortunately, usually the most inexpensive option available to those people are food with low nutritional value as to calorie content. That is why low income families are at the highest disadvantage of malnutrition. It has been revealed by a recent study that such health problems linked to obesity, like hypertension and diabetes, are more common among people with low income. Fact: each year, about $70 billion is spent on healthcare due to obesity. Obesity, the condition of an abnormal accumulation of body fat, has a negative effect on different body systems such as psychological, pulmonary, gastrointestinal, renal, cardiovascular, endocrine, and so on. Solving the obesity problem can save healthcare money, which could be used to improvement of the living conditions of low-income citizens by paying for housing or college education, for instance. One of the factors that help bring about obesity in poor families is fast food restaurant chains. They don't make it a secret in their advertising companies that their target customers are low class neighborhoods and families. Families that live in the poorest part of cities and towns are much more exposed to fast food than people living in the rich places. Consequently, families with low income have more chance to buy fast food, although it is much less nutritious than other food that can be bought for the same price. Despite their cheap price, those foods contain enormous amount of calories and fat. Typically, calories in junk food can come from sugar and fat, but not from whole grain carbohydrates and fiber that are satisfy hunger, craving, and provide you with energy. As a consequence, one will be hungry soon after eating fast food because the body was not satisfied with the lack of nutrition during the last meal. After that, if food is available, more food are usually consumed, which helps to progress of obesity. The consumption of more organic foods can combat obesity and malnourishment. Unlike fat food, organic food are not toxic and have more useful nutrients. However, their price is usually high and families with low income cannot afford them. Organic food is expensive due to a number of different factors. Today, only 1/10 of American citizens buy organic food on a regular basis. If the demand of organic food grows, ultimately the price should go down. To stop the trend of increasing obesity among the families with low income, the first thing to be done is helping the poor abandon poverty. The government should provide money for college education to poor students so that they could get the opportunity to receive a costly education which would give them higher income jobs and reduce the current poverty level. In addition, it would be great if more affordable housing could be built to destitute families to have a safe place to live. After those reforms are made, the poverty level should be reduced and the current problem with obesity will improve. Moreover, other measures must be taken. It is possible to improve opportunities for exercise and physical education. Currently, physical education courses in poor school area are usually the first courses to be cut because of insufficient funding. Only upper class students have access to high-tech gyms and workout facilities to help with weight management and fitness, whereas the low-class student cannot afford to subscribe to those facilities. In many poor urban areas, there is no space for recreation which is safe for children. The only form of recreation or exercise for the majority of the children is physical education. Typically, physical education is offered only once or twice a week, which is insufficient. The government should do something to re-evaluate its standard for physical education. School is a place where children should be educated about healthy lifestyles. Consequently, physical education should be part of this education too and should be provided most days of the week in public schools. Improvement can be made to cut the price of organic food so that people with different income can afford buying healthy food. If organic foods get more popular, their price will be much lower. Additionally, grocery stores should be stocked with local grown food but not with food imported across the country or world because the shipping affects the product's price. Farmers would be able to economize on shipping fees. The environment wouldn't be so polluted because less gas has to be consumed to ship the product. Finally, people would be able to purchase healthy food at less expensive prices. Farmers markets and local vendors are a nice alternative are a nice alternative to grocery stores and a great way to buy food. Not having to pay stores to sell their product, farmers get the entire price of the product, so they can reduce the selling price. State governments should cooperate with farmers and small business so that those markets could stay afloat. Not only do farmers markets offer healthy food at low price, but they also nurture positive relationship between farmers and community members. Thank you.